Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a lead code problem. The problem is of 9th November actually, and I am doing it today because I forgot to do it and I forgot to complete this trick that day. So I was just free today and unfortunately I hadn't shoot anything for you guys. So I am here to solve that question so that I don't miss out on anything and you guys can see how I do lead code as well. So this is the video. Enjoy. Let's start with the question. I'm gonna read out the question with here, okay? And this is my notebook. I'm gonna show you my notebook whenever possible, and you can open the question in your laptop. Let's start. So it's question number 2169. Count operations to obtain 0. You are given two non-negative integers num1 and num2. Okay. So inputs are num1 and num2. In one operation, if num1 is greater than equals to num2, okay, if num1 is greater than equals to num2, you must subtract num2 from num1, okay, otherwise subtract num1, okay. So basically if it is so, you must subtract num2 from num1, so num1 will become num1 minus num2, right? And if the else part is there, then num2 would be equals to num2 minus num1. This is the basic thing it is saying. For example, if num1 is equals to 5, okay, they are giving an example also, and num2 is 4, so num1 is greater than equals to num2, yeah. So subtract num2 from num1, yeah. Thus num1 becomes 1 because 5 minus 4 is 1, right? Got it. And num2 is equals to 4 and num2 will stay same, right? However, if num1 is 4 and num2 is 5, now in this case the num2 is greater, right? So after one operation, num1 becomes 4, num1 stays same, and num2 becomes 1. Got it. Return the number of operations required to make either num1 is equals to 0 or num2 is equals to 0. Okay, let's just try. So example 1 is num1 is equals to 2, num1 is equals to 2 and num2 is equals to 3. Alright, so in first scenarios I can see that num1 is greater than equals to num2. It is not, right? So we are gonna subtract num1 from num2, so num2 will become 3 minus 2, that is 1. So num2 became 1 and num1 remains same. So num1 was 2 at the beginning, so it remains 2 only. Now we are gonna check the conditions again. So if num1 is greater than equals to, yes it is, 2 is greater than equals to 1, so we are gonna do that, and num2 will be subtracted from num1, right? So num1 becomes 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. So now both the numbers become 1, right? And num2 also becomes, okay, num1 is 1 and num2 is also 1. Now what we are gonna do is, because it is equals to, so num1 becomes 3, and okay, so basically we are gonna do a while loop, right? When either of 1 becomes 0, we are gonna stop the loop and we can have a count which can like increase. So it just needs a while loop, right, which will be going like while num1, either num1 or num2 is not equals to 0, then the if conditions which are given as it is in the question, and when either of does do, then we after the while loop ends, we are gonna return the count and count will increase in the while loop, right? So let's just code it up, and I'm gonna code it now. uh, Comment down if you need code also, like if you want me to write code. So this was what I have written on my notebook. It's just literally the example case only, and that's the thing that we submitted, right? So this was my code, by the way. You can just check it out. And this is the it got accepted in the first run. So congratulations.